to introduce you all to Joan Rock, who is our foster kin care manager. And she has had a long, but not that long, because career as there. And so she started out in Barrie, so it's a very long time ago in Morrisville. And she has actually done a lot of trainings with us. She's co-trained for many years for us and is really a big proponent of preparing caregivers for the work that they have to do. And we are very, very lucky to get to work with her in this position as she starts to work with RC, our resource coordinator across the state, in training them and also helping them to support caregivers in the consistent way. And so we're super lucky, and I'm super excited to introduce Joan Rock.
Woohoo! Wow, I was just saying, I've never had such a formal introduction. This is very exciting. And it really is exciting to be here and see all of you here. I had the luxury of attending an RPC Plus when I was in Morrisville, and Amy was the instructor. And after, I will say the number, 26 years as a resource coordinator, the RPC Plus curriculum is the most beneficial curriculum I have seen for foster parents. So I really appreciate all of you being willing to continue on with this program and training our caregivers. So I have a little speech of sorts from Brenda Cooley. She sends her regrets for not being able to be here. She wanted me to bring it to your attention that this is a national curriculum that was brought to Vermont by the Placement Stability Project. And Child Welfare Training Partnership has done a super fabulous job with working with the designated agencies so that so many folks could be trained in the RPC Plus curriculum to date. This training has been incredibly valued by our caregivers. We have received so much positive feedback. There's amazing enthusiasm about the relevance of the training. And I walked in and heard you guys doing your exercise earlier, and I heard folks saying that some folks really are resistant to some of that curriculum. They don't want to practice it, they don't want to try it, and we had one of those folks in our class when I went through. So I'm fully aware of that, and I appreciated Kayla's comments. If you're not a gardener, then you don't really care about growing potatoes. So some of that is very relevant, and some of that I think we have to break through some of that resistance around how we work with children in a different way. So again, I just want to express my appreciation for you folks being the ones to try to do that. So after the summit in September, the leadership from Child Welfare Training Partnership, Department for Children and Families, and UNH met to discuss the sustainability of this training. And each entity is committing to seeing this training happen in Vermont. There will be 10 sessions, is that right, in 2019?
Well, our goal is to have at least 10 classes, 10 full classes around the state.
Excellent. Okay, and Family Services is committed to doing a piece of that. They're reimbursing for the food, the child care, and the production of the manuals. So every partnership in this has a little piece of the pie in terms of what they're responsible for and willing to work
I just
out.
interrupt. This is huge. So Family Services is going to pay for the manuals, the food, and a portion of respite child care for up to 10 districts across the state teaching the class. This is brand new, very exciting. So
Yeah.
really.
Accentuating that. So as trainers, Brenda says that you are all champions, and I absolutely second that. You're the front runners, the leaders in expanding the delivery of RPC Plus. You can promote it through conversation with your peers at events, and in here you can freely talk about it, and we encourage you to do that. So in conjunction with RPC Plus, the Placement Stability Project and Child Welfare Training Partnership, primarily Sharon O'Neill, created a mentor program. And she did a fantastic job creating the foundation for a mentor program. So the state, DCF, is committed to seeing this mentor program grow and expand and be much more supportive to our caregiving community. And one of the things that we recognize is that when folks have had the RPC Plus, they are in a much better position to be mentors. They have a much deeper understanding of the issues that our children face, and they are trained to be mentors, so they have a way of delivering that information to other caregivers in a very supportive way. So we are definitely committed to that. Currently, we have 4 trainings scheduled for mentors from January through May. We are looking at different modalities of how that training can be offered so that more folks have easier access to the training. And there will be more information to come on that. Other people that are higher than me are talking about these kinds of issues. But I'm certainly a proponent of the mentor program, and I really appreciate having RPC Plus graduates be mentors. So, with that said, hot off the press this morning, however not in color, I brought a few things that I'm hoping that you trainers will take with you today. And when you are going through your RPC Plus classes, perhaps, Amy and I were just talking about that, I could even attend and talk about the mentor program, and I would take just a very brief 5 or 10 minutes of your time to do that. Or if I can't be there in person, I would ask that you have a conversation with your group about it, and that you encourage the RPC Plus graduates to apply to be a mentor. So that's the new portion of the program that we are suggesting that caregivers can apply to be mentors. And right on the application, we were talking about this. May I contact the resource person in your district? And so these applications will come back to me, and I will be in touch with the resource coordinator as sort of like a reference. So I'm going to leave these with Amy, and she can hand them out when she has time to. And I really thank you all for being trainers of the RPC Plus curriculum and being here today to talk about it.
Cool, thanks, Joan. Thank you. Before she goes, any questions about that to ask Joan?
Can we get an electronic copy too?
Yes, you will, yes, yes, as soon as they are at the same. So we think this is the final form, although not in color, but I don't want to send them all out until we absolutely are convinced that this is our final copy. We will send them out in color.
There was another question, Joan. Yeah.
How do we go about getting the support with the cost of the
What?
How do we go about getting the support with the reimbursement for the cost of the
I'm going to defer to Amy on that.
The question is, how do you get this, how do you get the money? Was the question.
Show me the money.
As you can imagine, with the state and UVM involved, it's a complicated bureaucratic mess. But, so we're still trying to figure out all the details. It has to go through another, whatever, source. So, be in touch with me. This is brand new, so we're trying to figure out some of the details. So, if you're running, so all the more reason to tell me when you're running a class, when you have dates started, and then we can start that process.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments for me? I wish I could stay with you, but I have to run back to Waterbury. But thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Great. Any leftover questions from the morning? It's still morning, actually. Or comments? Couple of points I just wanted to bring up. So far this morning, you've seen Joan, you've seen myself, you've seen Jennifer, you've seen Caleb, all of us up here. And just like there's a parallel process with you as an instructor to the caregiver or the after-school provider, there's also a parallel process today, right? My hope is that you're watching us, and that you're assessing what we do, and that you're judging us, and that you're saying, wow, I really like what Caleb did. That thing Amy did was not so good, right? And apply that to yourself. What works and what doesn't work. And I'm not trying to say we're the best of the best, but because we're probably going to screw up sometime in the next 2 days. But take doing this work, every time I go to a show or a movie or a presentation, I'm watching that presenter and trying to take pieces from that, right? What can I adapt from that person? What did I hate that this person did? What do I like that they did, but it's really not my style? So I just encourage you to kind of jump into that and think about that over the next couple of days.
So are we filling out, just because you're saying think about this, are we filling out an exit thing for the class and suggestions and stuff?
Yes, there will be an evaluation, not until tomorrow, so if you have big, long suggestions, start writing them down now. Two other things I just want to pass out, just for people to look at, Rex Forehand, who helped us develop part of the class. These are two of his books, Helping the Non-Compliant Child and Parenting a Strong Little Child. I'm just going to pass them around, table to table, to folks to look at if you're interested. And then, one more thing. And we're going to now jump into our instructor manual. It's just to go to the table of contents, which I think is page 3 or 2. Page 2. So most of what we're going to be doing the rest of today is to walk through these 10 weeks. It's page 2 in your instructor manual. So this is the flow of the class. So the first week is introduction, welcome, and a bit of a trauma 101. Second week dives a little bit deeper into trauma, starts to talk about the brain, so it's laying this foundation for folks. Then we stop, and we jump into self-care. What we found over and over and over again is self-care gets put at the very end of curriculums. In fact, when this was first developed, it was the last session. And you know what happens at the last session of anything, right? You run out of time, you're doing other things, it never gets covered. So we really prioritize that piece. Then the next 3 weeks, 4, 5, and 6, are the trauma-informed parenting skills. So it's a little bit of a diversion from the rest of the curriculum, and it's much more hands-on. We get out toys, and people actually play with the toys. I have toys here, we will be playing with toys. So we actually have people really practice some of the skills. So that's 4, 5, and 6. Then in 7, we talk about psychological safety and talking about that concept and how caregivers can create a holding environment for their children. Then dealing with feelings and behaviors a little bit more, we talk about the cognitive triangle and how people can intervene with some of the challenging feelings and behaviors that children have. Session 9 is talking a lot about, as you know, right, relationships, connections are a huge part of the healing, so we dive into that more. And then the final session is about being an advocate. And because that's the reality, right? If you're a caregiver, if you're an after-school provider, if you're a professional, you're advocating for these kids. So how to help people after they've gotten all this information to now be an advocate for their kids. So I just wanted to set that framework for the 10 weeks. So what we're going to do, I don't know how many we'll get through. We'll do at least 2 sessions before lunch. I'm going to do a fast version of each of the weeks. And in that, I'll skim over some things, and then we'll actually do some of the activities or watch some videos that are appropriate to that session. So I encourage you to follow along in your book, write in your book, put down stickies. So we're in week number 1, first page. There's the first slide. So this is week 1. Is everyone there? This is your instructor guide, week number 1, first page. So if you're not really familiar with PowerPoint, sometimes there's cool little things like I push this button and what happens, ready? Oh, that was embarrassing. Hold on. All right, so what's supposed to happen... There you go. So some of these slides, it's helpful for you to go through these slides before the first time you teach this class because you might miss that. My technology's not working in this moment, and I'm going to fix it. Okay. So we're in the first week of the class. This is the first class. Spend a little time talking about what RPC Plus is. Explain it a little bit more. Explain it a little bit give a quick little summary of some of the evaluation data that Jennifer talked about earlier today. Spend some time talking about confidentiality. You all may have your own agency policies about that, but two key points I often talk about, obviously, we need to protect the confidentiality of kids. We can't talk about identifying information or say things that someday are going to come back to our child, your biological parents, to whoever. At the same time, the class is meaningless if people can't talk about what's going on in their homes. So I have a conversation about how to balance those two things out. Do some kind of introduction to welcome people. Talk about why a trauma workshop's important. Okay? Continue that piece. This is the first time we start talking about the idea that trauma affects caregivers. So in the very first week, we're talking about this stuff is impacting you. So we're naming that out loud in the very first week. Throughout, there are quotes that are sprinkled throughout. You take the time to have someone read the quote, have a conversation about it, do a brief overview of what they'll be learning, all basic stuff so far. Set some kind of ground rules. This suggests ground rules. You may have your own way of doing that, but it's really, really helpful to do something like this at the beginning, right? To help lay the foundation of what's going to happen in the class. What do you want to do about cell phones? Those kind of things. Yeah.
Do you post those so that they're always visible?
I don't tend to do that, but I know a lot of people do, and that works really well for them. Do other folks do that, or think that's a good idea, or not? It can be, depending on time, it can be helpful to actually get them to generate this list instead of you dictating to them. Right?
Hand over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I have a question. Well, it's two parts. First part, is there statistics on like people going through RPC that are kinship placements versus like non-related foster care and what the success rate is? And then also, does that ever cause a divide in the class of like, because it is very different. I know most of our clients are like kinship placements, and that I guess motivates them a little bit more sometimes. So does that relate at all in the class?
Did everyone hear the question about kinship caregivers? So in terms of the data, they're still, believe it or not, sorting through all this data, so I don't know the answer to whether or not we looked at those two pieces. Right, you're going to have a mixed audience, right? There are going to be foster parents, there are going to be adoptive parents, there are going to be kin caregivers, and now we're also going to have after-school providers in some of the classes, right? So you are talking to a varied audience, just like I'm doing today, right? There are graduates, there are people who work for DCF, there are people who work for mental health, right? There's a mixed group in here, so bringing that up a lot. I think just acknowledging that difference. A special sensitivity to kin caregivers, right? They're frequently they're grandparents, there are all kinds of situations, and their child is the one who has lost custody of their child. And there are a lot of complicated, mixed loyalties, challenges with that. So being really sensitive to that piece. What have folks observed about what's worked or not worked in your areas around anything that you've done mixing kin with more traditional foster parents? Any other tips or thoughts about that? Yeah.
Being a kinship, now adoptive parent in that setting, I think that having all of those differences was really helpful to learn. So we learned from everybody, and even though our situations might have been different, they were all very similar. So.
I think there can be some great empathy that happens if you've got someone who's kind of traditional, all they've done is traditional kind of foster parenting. It can help create some great empathy for what's happening in biological families, kinship families. And I think sometimes kin caregivers have felt uncomfortable or worried or scared if their relative is in more traditional foster care. And it can also help bridge a lot of those gaps, I think. But definitely something to stay aware of. Throughout the course, there'll be different activities that, again, there's a parallel process. So with this, you would talk about, I hope everyone's paying attention to their own feelings right now. And hopefully you're all right about here at just right. You're not totally bored down here, because then I'm not doing my job, nor are you super uncomfortable. If you get in this hot space and you're uncomfortable, I hope that you'll take space. So this is stuff I would say to the class, right? There's going to be some tough issues in here. Please take care of yourself. This also is a great tool to bring home to your kids. Right? So there'll be things like this interspersed throughout the curriculum. So the very first thing we do, and this is the reason this class is not appropriate for biological families, is we show this film Removed, which we're going to watch in a minute. It's a great movie, but if you were a biological parent watching this movie in this class, it might be triggering in a unique way. So setup for this film is really important. So, I don't know, how many people seen it?
Is it the one with the girl
Yes.
and the brother?
Yes.
The girl, yeah.
I know that was really specific.
You know that person?
So here's what I say when I introduce this movie. I say, this movie depicts a child who experiences some trauma and is involved in the foster care system. This film, there's a lot of emotion in this film, and it could be triggering for some people. Please take care of yourself. Don't do this, which some people have done. This movie's gonna make you cry! So don't do it. So, that's your setup for the film. I'm hoping all our internet problems have been resolved, and this is gonna work easily and well. You all are having faith in this system too. And someone try to bring their lights up? I think they're back there somewhere. So the other thing that I say before showing this
Turn on the
video
light somewhere else.
is I'd like all of you to observe this video and notice what the adults do that are helpful and not helpful. So what do the adults do that are helpful and not helpful? And this is about 13 minutes. And hopefully it's not enough.
Sometimes someone hurts you so bad. It stops hurting at all. Until something makes you feel again. And then it all comes back. Every word. Every hurt. Every moment. How could you ever understand where I come from? Even if you ask, even if you listen, you do not really hear or see or feel. You don't remember my story. You haven't walked my path. You haven't seen what I've seen. My past defines me. This is who I am. I am unseen, unheard, unwanted. That is what I am. If even I am anything. is how it was supposed to be. And a heavy sadness filled my soul. Deeper and deeper I fell within myself. And nothing could draw me out. Trapped in the misery of my life. Lost in the sorrow of my soul. Unable to see the light. Unable to see the dawn. To feel. To hope.
What are you doing picking my fruit?
To dream. And I found the darkest days of my life kept coming. The blackest nights for my soul never stopped. It seemed like it was always nighttime and nightmares, and never morning. And maybe you wonder why, but mostly you try not to think about it, and try to get by, and try to survive. And all the other stuff seems so much like nothing, compared to just wanting the most important things back again. Like wishing you could see your mama smile again, and hear her sing that one favorite song that always calmed you down when things were all messed up. Or if you couldn't have her back, at least get to take care of your baby brother. 'Cause you know he needs you. And he's gonna be so scared all alone. And who's gonna hold his hand and whisper it'll be alright to him? And who will whisper it to me? I know I am helpless, dependent, desperate. But what happens when those who need the most threaten your very existence? I've heard plenty of promises, and they all sound the same. But push hard enough, and sooner or later, they all prove to be empty. The sun comes up every morning, but do you know where? Each place it's somewhere different. It's hard to find east when you keep moving around. But at least it comes. It always comes. I've come to depend on that. And slowly seasons changed around me. And it seemed this time that maybe the world would not be pulled out from under me again. Feet safe, roots starting to grow, little buds of hope for me, slowly attempting past this new life.
Hi. Come on over. Let me show you what I got for you. Got you a gift.